Hello again. So I decided to go ahead and just make this a two-part video. Um, so I did a little bit off camera. Went ahead and what did I do? I went ahead and cleaned the carbon off of like around the valves and the piston head, the top of the piston head, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but I can go ahead and show you this now. I went ahead and cleaned up the head inside and out. Got all the carbon buildup out of there. There was quite a bit. And then, it's hard to see between the cooling fins, but got all the cooling fins cleaned out, nice and clean. I pulled the carburetor out of the gallon of chem dip and got that all scrubbed and cleaned and assembled. Basically, I just did the tedious stuff, the boring stuff off camera, and I went ahead and I got ahead of myself and just decided to go ahead and put the carburetor on the engine. So that's on. A little bit about the carburetor. The flange where it bolts to the engine was badly warped, so I had to plane that down. Started with a really coarse file. I had lightly squeezed the carburetor in the vise, in the bench vise, and I started with a very coarse file. This one. That took it down quick. I used, obviously, the flat side, not the rounded side. That took it down pretty quick. Got it really close, and then I moved on to this here. It's a piece of kind of thick, hard plastic with a piece of coarse sandpaper stuck to there, flat on the workbench, and just, to finish it off. Oftentimes, when working with like an older carburetor that had been warped, and then I planed it, I will end up sealing it up, even though I got it nice and flat. And especially also if I'm reusing old gaskets for the carburetor, I will go ahead and seal them up with, you guessed it, black silicone maker. Permatex is the brand I usually go with. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, the fuel bowl on the carburetor is one that has a drain hole, and it's got the little spring-loaded plunger you push up with the little rubber gasket on the inside. But when I got this carburetor, this carburetor came from my Bolens Husky 1253. The little plunger was not there, and instead they had this little bolt plugging the hole with a, it's not going to focus, darn it. But there's a little rubber O-ring in there. Well, I got rid of that, and I had some of these kits already laying around. This is the kit for that plunger. It's the complete kit, everything you need. It's the plunger, the spring keeper on the bottom, and the rubber gasket. See if there's a part number. In case any of you are looking for these, that is the Tecumseh part number. Let's see. Looks like it's going to show up backwards, maybe. I don't know if that'll change once I save the video, but anyway. Yeah, the part number is 27136A for that Tecumseh kit. Anyways, so I believe I am ready to put the head on. Oh, I see when I it looks like when I installed the carburetor, of course it's already early morning. I've kind of pulled an all-nighter, so I'm kind of tired. It's a little past 7 a.m. right now. I forgot the linkage. see if I can figure out a way to put this on here without taking that off real quick. I think I can. Hopefully I won't break this linkage. Yeah, there we go. One moment. I would show you, but it's nothing interesting. Basically, to get this on, I kind of bent one end out a little bit. Now I'm bending it back, or trying to. There we are. Now, it's back how it was. Linkage is on there. Oh, when I planed the flange on the carburetor where it bolts to the engine, I just went ahead and planed the other end, even though it didn't need it. Sanded that, so it's a nice fresh surface. I'm going to go ahead and pull you out of the phone holder right now, so I can start showing you some stuff. This here, I had to reuse that plate in there, because the studs that are in here stick out too far and aren't threaded far enough to put the carburetor right to the block. So yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna put you back up here now and turn the phone down to where you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and put the head back on. Alrighty. Alright, now head bolts. I have this habit of whenever I put in bolts, I put a little drop of oil on the threads. Help keep things from, well, just makes it easier to take apart if I have to take it apart again in the future. Yeah, this one was here. I remember now. So yeah, just put a drop of oil on each bolt on the threads. And put them in. Get them started. I'll use the impact to zip them on. And I'll torque them to spec later. I'm gonna fire this thing up, but I'm not gonna run it long. And that impact is strong enough to get them pretty close, if not more than tight enough. I've zipped head bolts back in with that thing before and then never torqued them to spec and never had a problem. But because this is actually going in one of my tractors, I will later on torque them to spec. Which, for this engine, I don't know what that is. I will look it up later. Just double checking that I actually started all those. Last thing I want to do is put the impact on it and cross thread it. And normally I would spray the head gasket with that copper spray for head gaskets, but I don't have any right now. But that's all right. I can pop that back off and do it again later at another time. All right, and we're gonna go, across corners and stuff. We're not gonna go around a circle. We're gonna do it like you would when you put on a tire. You're gonna, skip some in between. Now we're going to go tighten them again a little further, but we're just going to go around a circle now. And you know what? I will go ahead and just make sure they're good and snug with the ratchet. Oh yeah, they're pretty snug, but I'm just going to give them all just a tad more. Alrighty. Where did I put? Oh, there it is. Not ready to start it, but I'm going to go ahead and spray some carb cleaner in there, and then hurry up and put the spark plug in. That way it's already got a little something in there when there's time. Another thing I did that I didn't mention is earlier when the head was off and I was cleaning it, I took this thread chaser. This is for spark plug threads, and I used that end. That's the right size for this head, and I cleaned the carbon out of the threads. I like to do stuff like that. I'm rather meticulous with my work. That is plenty good enough for a spark plug. And we're going to go ahead and throw that back on. I did check this earlier while I had the head off of it. After I cleaned, carbon out, I put I guess I should have tested it with this spark plug. I didn't, though. I keep a brand new spark plug here on the bench. I use this as a tester. But anyways, I took this, hooked it up to the plug wire, and I set it on the deck of the engine block, and I cranked her over. This was with no head on it, but it didn't matter. And it had spark, still has spark, so that's good. But like I said, about a year ago, I actually did have this thing running. So, yep. Alrighty. I don't feel like losing any fingers, so I am not gonna fire this thing up without this cover on here. I am gonna put that on. Oh, almost forgot this. And you know what? Oh shoot, I can't put that on. You see this bolt is still in the hole here, and this came off of my Tecumseh HH120, the blown engine that was in my Bolens 1253. As you can see here, the part of the casting of the head on the HH120 snapped off for the previous owner. It was already like that when I went to take that off. I was like, man, I'm turning this bolt. Why is it not threading out? And then when I got this plate off, that's when I figured out why. So I'm going to try to get this off of here. You can just see that PB blaster soaked down in. Holy cow. Spray both sides. And I got a vice grip here. We'll just see if we can get that out of there. I got a buddy that's an excellent TIG welder. And I spent 6 years of my life as a welder, but unfortunately could never get an employer to train me to TIG weld. I do have a dual voltage multi-process welder here at home. Multi-process meaning it is multiple welders in one machine. And so it'll do MIG, TIG, and stick, of course. I figured the screwdriver wouldn't be enough to get it out. I don't have my, I don't really feel like leaving to going out through the tarp to my other toolbox to get the right socket. So I'm going to try an adjustable. It's probably just going to round it off. Hey, you know what? It's moving. I hope it's not going to snap off. But anyways, what I was saying about my buddy that's a TIG welder, I might, if I can save this little cast piece, I might have it TIG welded back on that other head. It would be a small, quick job, so. No, it's not going to be savable. This bolt is just going to break. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up sourcing another head. Yep, see there it broke. See? Oh well. It's not that big of a loss. I will just source another head. HH120 head. I mean, that head, the engine will run with it, but one side of this plate will not be bolted down, and I'm concerned about it like rattling, making noise, being noisy. So let's get some of this debris out of here. I should have cleaned this earlier and totally forgot about it. That's good enough. Oh, forgot that had silicone on it. Get up there. That's good enough. Get rid of that. What is, oh. This little bracket that's coming up, it's got your holder for a throttle cable. That is in the way. I'm going to take that off. Because on my HH120, that did not have that there anyways. So I suppose for the application that I'm going to be using this thing for, I won't need it. Good and tight. I was wondering why it wasn't. I was like, why is that not sitting down right? Actually, I'm going to put this one in the other bolt hole. I only have one bolt here. I'm going to put this one in the other bolt hole. I guess I could go out and get in the bags of hardware in the box of HH120 parts, but I'm not going to do that right now. I will put that in later. But yeah, there's that. And let's rotate this around. I got another shield to put on to help direct airflow to keep the cylinder cool. This one. Yeah, I should have cleaned that up too. Oh well, I can always do that later. And you know what? Was that supposed to go on before this one? No, it can go on after. There we go. I forgot to put a drop of oil on that last bolt. Guess it won't take but a second to take it out. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'd rather just do things right, at least by my definition of right. Everybody has their own way of doing things. And I know if I don't do something the way I normally do, if I don't do something the way I like to do it, it's going to bug me just thinking about it. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm weird. But anyway, and then one of these two snapped off earlier. That's nice. So I'm going to have to get that out of there. Not tonight, though. But, I mean, even if I didn't, it'd be alright, because that end that has the bolt that snapped off in the block, that end of the shield will be held by the cover as well. So, not that big of a deal. Oop. But, like I said earlier, I'm kind of meticulous, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and so I like to do things right, you know, at least by my definition of right. Now, like I said earlier, it's past 7 in the morning. I've, by this point, pulled an all-nighter, so I'm kind of tired. So I'm not going to hook up a fuel tank. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet to run this thing for a fuel source. I might just put a piece of fuel line, like fill the fuel line and bowl, and let it run until it runs out. I might not even do that. I might just put a shot of ether in it, let you guys see it fire up. We'll see. Alrighty. What else needs to go on? Is there anything else before I put that cover on? I don't think there is. I think that covers it then. One thing I didn't mention earlier that I did is this spacer between the carburetor and the engine block that I had to reuse. It has a, like I mentioned in the last video, it has a threaded hole in it, and there's this fitting coming out of it, and it's going to nothing. Well, I filled it with RTV, but just to ensure it doesn't suck that RTV in because it's not cured yet, I'm actually going to take that little bolt that was blocking the fuel drain hole in the float bowl. I'm going to stick it right in there in that RTV. It's a perfect fit. Boom. So now yeah, I was right about not needing the that little bracket that was bolted on under a head bolt that has the throttle cable holder. I was right about not needing that because there's one right here on the flywheel shroud. I gotta make sure I put that in there so the spark plug wire does not get pinched. How does that work? That's strange. Okay, well, let's see. These two went up top. Oh, need my oil can again. That's gonna drive me nuts. How in the world does that fit? You know what? I will figure that out later. I'm having trouble. Okay, so this engine did not have this top cover on it. And the spark plug wire was going through this cutout. There's a grommet around the spark plug wire, and there's a cutout here in this cover. But with it in there, this interferes with it and doesn't let the cover go in far enough. I'm not sure. So for now, anyway, yeah, so for now, I'm actually going to just take this cover back off because it's not like I'm going to be running it for a long time or anything. And obviously that this engine was previously ran without this cover, and this engine has a clean bill of health. So for now, I will go without that cover. Just for the sake of getting this back together, getting it fired up so I can go in and shower and go to bed. Because I am tired. I'm just a little too old to, and past my days of pulling all-nighters. I'm not going to say I don't anymore at all. I just normally don't. Not ready for that yet. Two more. Yeah, I am past my days of all-nighters. Everything has to line up. This cover's got to slide over this and slide over that. This bolt's a little shorter, and that bolt didn't want to thread in that hole very far. So this bolt, I remember this bolt went into this hole. Come on, get out of there. And this one went into this one that's a little bit longer, went in over here. So now let's which one was it? No, it was the 1/2 inch socket. Try not to thread them in too hard because those top two. Try not to tie them too hard because those top two go into aluminum, and there's not a lot of threads going into them. They're short bolts. So make sure that's out of the way. Hook up a spark plug, and we are ready. We are ready to try to fire this thing. I'm going to get it back away from the edge of the bench and back away from me. I did check the oil earlier, but guess what? I'm going to do it again. Partly just because, I'm just about to fire this thing up. So, I highly doubt the oil level has gone down, but just for the namesake of being sure, I'm going to check it again, but also because you guys are watching, and I know that if I don't check it again, I will get comments. Why did you not check the oil before firing it up? So, yeah, I'm going to check the oil. The oil level is halfway between the add and the full mark. So it's in the safe zone. Normally, I would fill it up to the full mark. But, I'm not going to be running it very long at all. And it is in the safe zone. So, we are golden. Yeah. Now, I need my little portable booster box. I picked this thing up on the side of the road for free last summer. It needed a new battery, so I bought a brand new battery and put in it. This thing's like new. This thing works great. Love it. It's kind of a medium-sized one. This one's kind of small. I've got like a medium-sized one, but this thing does just fine for small engines and garden tractors and stuff like that. Let's get her hooked up. Actually, I'm just going to do this. All right, you guys ready? Fire in the hole. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm going to go. Whew, gosh. Wow. I'm going to suffocate in here. Before I try to fire it again, I'm going to open up that tarp behind me. But I'm going to go try to find a piece of fuel line. I'm going to go try to find a piece of fuel line and put a little gas in that carb. And let it run for a little bit longer than just, a few revolutions. Yep, I'll be back. Get my fuel line cutter. All right. I need this little funnel move these out of the way so I can open this up a little bit. So, found a piece of fuel line already cut to length. So I'm just going to slip this on here. Then we take a little funnel with a little hole on the end that'll fit in the fuel line. I'm going to clean this thing. I don't want any dust or dirt getting into my carburetor. Just cleaned. And that will fit in the fuel line. You know what? I'm gonna turn you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. I have some gasoline in here. This is Rec 90 gas, recreational gas, 90 octane. This does not contain any ethanol. This is crucial if you want your carburetors to last, your small engine carbs. Yes, this is crucial. And a little bit higher octane. A lot of smaller engines like a little bit higher octane than like your regular unleaded was at 87 octane. So that definitely doesn't hurt anything. But yeah, anyway. I wonder if the float shouldn't be stuck. There, it's going down slowly. Yep, I got gas coming out of the bowl. I just checked the drain hole. I pushed the plunger and gas came out. It's just going in very slowly. But while this is doing its thing, I'm actually going to go ahead and kill the space heater. Probably should have done that before I started pouring gas. And the carburetor is dripping gas. I did not have a full rebuild kit for it, so it is what it is. I'm just testing this thing anyways, so. Make sure it's there. We're getting more going in now. It's going in slowly, but I'm going to, there. I'm going to kill this heater so that we don't have open flame while I'm messing with gas. It's not just that I'm pouring it, there's also a gas leak. So there's going to be some fumes in here. There, now it's going in. It might be full now. Yeah, I believe it is full now. All right, yep, that's full. So I'm going to set this cup of gasoline down somewhere where it won't go anywhere, but I can still reach it. If I want to keep it running, then I can. Hey, I'm going to move that. That's right where the exhaust is coming out. Now, with all this stuff on the bench, this thing running, I'm going to have stuff rattling around and jumping off the bench probably. So, it is what it is. I'll pick it up later. All right, you guys ready? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and add, as it's dripping out of the carb, it's taking it down the fuel line. So I'm going to add a little bit, so I got a little bit sitting in the funnel. Here we go. Let's give it some choke. run very long. Can't be out of gas. Nope, it's not out of gas. It probably needs some adjustment. I bench set the carburetor, but you know, they always need fine tuning then. So, we'll try it again. Got a nice strong starter, that's for sure. Adjust the carb a little bit more. Put it on half choke, see if it'll stay running. I like the half choke. Okay, so let's just put in a half choke and leave it there. See what happens. See if we can just get it to run for a little bit. Choke it. More. Half choke. Come on. Getting a pretty good sized puddle of fuel on the bench. This will probably be the last time I try to start it, because it shoots a blue flame out the exhaust, and that's not far from the gas puddle on the bench and the container I got the gas in. So yeah, that's probably the last time I try to start it. But I mean, you get the idea though. And that's it. She drank all the fuel that I had in here. I had about, it was more than a cup of fuel, about 1.25 cups of fuel in here. Of course, you know, it's dripping some out as well. I wasn't going to let it run that long, but I decided, well, go ahead and let it warm up so I could do my oil change. So, but I'm up here, guys. I'm not going to bore you with an oil change. We all know what an oil change is. So I'm going to end the video here. And I'm pretty happy with it. I obviously need some fine tuning. And I did see on the head gasket on this side, right above the carburetor, I did see some little bubbles coming out. So, I mean, I had it torqued pretty tight. It wasn't torqued to spec, the head bolts, but they're pretty tight. But might be bad head gasket. They might need to be tighter. I don't know. So I'll figure it out later. I guess it couldn't hurt to throw a new head gasket in it anyway. They're not expensive. But so I'll probably start with that. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button for so you can get notified when I post more videos. There's definitely more videos to come. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.